Good morning. So I kind of miss vlogging sometimes, and I figured I would vlog a little bit. I figured I would do a little bit of vlogging, maybe work on some of my post-processing skills a little bit, especially since we're still sort of stuck inside. It's funny, one of my friends was over yesterday and we were talking about how in March, when we were all posting about lowering the curve, flattening the curve, and staying indoors, there were less cases then and more ICU beds than right now, and yet everybody's still like out and doing things. So I've been trying to stay in still. So I've got a busy day-to-day just with following up on things, and I really want to make some pizza with the bread flour instead of the other flour. My Detroit style pizza yesterday was really good, so I'm gonna try still to work on the round pizza. I don't know what this cat is doing. There must be a toy or something back there that she sees. I was moving her treats around into the different containers. My cat, everyone. And which is why she's up there anyway, because her treats. This is not a magazine. This is the Austin Water Forward Goals, which I'm not really familiar with because I just don't work with Austin Water, even though I live in Austin. But this is their plan for water for the next 50 years. A lot of cities have these plans that are 5 years out, 10 years out. What are the sort of projects that we need a capital plan and get started? The bigger projects that are going to, be over several years to do. There's a few cities, more and more now, that will do these really long plans. Man, I used to know which ones they were off the top of my head. I don't anymore. I think I did a post about it once. Austin does. It's some of the more progressive cities, West Coast cities. Denver has one. I want to say Seattle and Portland. But anyway, so this talks about like what is an integrated water resources plan, which, if you're not familiar, is basically thinking of water as one water is what they call it. It's a cycle. It's not just these different streams of stormwater and wastewater and drinking water, but it is one water, and you can't treat it and reuse them in the different streams. Of course, you're limited by technology and how much it costs, so you couldn't just take all the stormwater that comes in and treat it to drinking water, because there's a lot of stormwater and it tends to pick up oils and things from the ground, and to treat it would be very costly when you could just use surface water and treat much less, or to a lesser extent, because it's been diluted a little bit and has had like the environmental buffer of sitting out there in the environment for a while. So anyway, this is the water. Oh, look at this, brackish groundwater desalination. I don't know if this is going to be backwards to you guys. I don't think so. It's backwards to me. Community stormwater harvesting. So harvesting it. This is a way to use stormwater that comes in, and then you let it sit in this environmental buffer and then harvest it. I always thought it'd be cool to do that on my balcony. My place isn't that big. Like, you're literally seeing my whole place. I was talking to my boss the other day, and she's like, "Are you outside?" It's very bright because all of the webcams they either make me really dark or really bright. I was like, no, this is literally my whole house. Anyway, so it would be really fun to do some stormwater harvesting. I actually kind of as a joke tell people I have a gray water system, which is it's on the floor here right now. I keep this pail for water in my shower, so that when I'm taking a shower, instead of all of it just going down the drain, some of it gets into the pail, and then I have like reused water to water my plants, which some people find really weird. So if they're like staying over or something, I'll be like, hey, we can take the pail out of the shower. You don't have to shower with the pail in there. I just like kind of kick it over to the side, and like I'm used to it now. So that is my life. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna continue to give them some updates or some recommendations on this. I've also been doing my taxes because when they extended the deadline for COVID, I decided I'm not gonna wrap this up right now when everything's fresh and I've already looked through everything 6 times. So now, 3 months later, I am looking through everything again and wrapping it up and sending it off. And I'm one of those people that always owes money, because even though it's like really nice to get money back from your tax return, it just means that I've given too much money throughout the course of the year. Like I've had too much taken out of my paychecks, and so that means if it's taken out of my paychecks, then it hasn't been there and accessible for me to put in the stock market or use for other forms. So I always have, I try to match like however much they take out, so that it'll just be that I owe a little bit or just get a little bit back. I don't want a big return, so I have to mail in a check. It's only like $174 this year, which I guess is it's a little bit, but I've paid $10,000 for the year. So yeah, I have to do that. I did that yesterday. I went to the office to do that because I needed to print some things, because I had to see it like all spread out. So I went and probably spread some COVID around the office a little bit. There were a few people in there. Scott, who leads our Bridges group in the South, was in there, and he's in there every Saturday when I go in. Like, I've never been there on a Saturday that he hasn't been there. The dude is always working. And he's one of those guys that's just involved in all these projects and is so fun to work with. And so it is kind of cool to go in and catch up and be like, how's it going? He's like listening to rock music out loud, like not with headphones or anything, because it's a Saturday, like wearing his shorts. I'm in there in like shorts and t-shirt. And I had just walked around Zilker Park, so I was like sure I smelled so much. I was like, don't get too close, 1 for COVID, 2 because I smell. Yeah, so it was busy yesterday, especially with then Lauren coming over, and we made the Detroit style pizza, which was super good, and I put it on my Instagram. And Detroit style, if you don't know, is a square pizza, and it's got a really kind of thick crust. And when you have cheese on it, the cheese like fries into the edge of the pan. We didn't have cheese on it, which if we'd had some vegan cheese, that would have been, but I couldn't find any tahini yesterday when I went to HEB, which is our favorite grocery store here. So we did watch some videos. I think I just exited out of them. In South Korea, they've got this like dance team for Mr. Pizza that they basically have these pizza doughs that are real pizza, handmade, and they start with a dough like this, and they start dancing and spinning. They like spin it across their back and like under their legs, and like doing flips and stuff while they're spinning the pizza, and the pizza is just like slowly getting bigger and bigger until it rips. So we were watching this like 3-minute video. I had watched more before she got here, and then she got here and I was like, you have to see this. So we watched this video of pizza dancing. It's so funny. I love that that's a thing. So anyway, what else is on the agenda for today? Oh, I'm gonna make some more pizza with the bread dough. Clean my place a little bit. It's a mess. I don't have the AC on right now because it's morning time, but in the afternoon I'll turn on the AC a little bit. You have to see my cat. She is just like loving life. She doesn't fit on there all the way. And you can tell it's hot because she only sits over here in the morning when it's hot. You hot? Should I turn on the AC? She's like, don't touch me. I'm going to bed. Yeah. Maybe I'll do some montages. I know I've talked about my bullet journal before. I tend to go in and out of how I use my journal, but I figured, planner, I figured I'd show you what I'm doing now. This is the new version I've gotten. which has still like little writing prompts and things for each month, which I almost never use. A big calendar, and then yeah, more like writing stuff, and then to-do lists. Like it used to have columns per day. This is Keza. Who is this? Kygo. Yeah, I was just gonna switch it out to put the July stuff in, so I figured I'd show you that. It is nice, especially being a PE. Even though I don't do a whole lot of things in sealing, you have to keep records of like what you're doing and what you're working on. And I don't know that anybody would ever go back to like, oh, this day I did that. But I've never been called to court, so I don't know. Yeah, so it is nice to know like the day that you work on things, and this does not have that. It's just like an ongoing running list of things that I've been doing. Yeah, it's nice to have not electronic, even though you can't search for things, to just thumb back like, oh yeah, that one week that I was working on this, I wrote some notes, let me go check. All my major notes I still keep in OneNote on my laptop. And yeah, so I'm gonna switch this out and then do a little time lapse. Hey, so I've just been working for a bit because I don't ever get solid working focus time during the week. So I need to come back to this, but my brother is moving today, and so I'm gonna go help him. I was at an okay place to stop and return to it later. Still got some coffee left. So I'm going to get ready and go over there and get anything done I needed to around the house today. Or my pizza started. But he's got to return the car by noon, and so I need to go and help him move things out of it. And I ordered some tacos to bring over. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to go do. Definitely a just moved in house. But I brought tacos. This one's the Brentwood from Cholitos, and it's very delicious. Only Devin moves with boxes that he should toss clothes. You could have just tossed them and not moved them to Austin. Hey! Clean rag. What are you Instagram? Powder coat. Use sandpaper. Look at this one. Clean and polish. Garage sale. You could have just tossed it.
That's stuff to put in the garage sale.
A whole box of PP and a whole box of tape.
I need to use sandpaper so I don't use new sandpaper.
Okay, it's a little bit later. I helped my brother put up some shelves and do some other cleaning and things like that. And I did a little ab exercise, showered, and had a couple friends coming over.
It's so far away.
It's fine. What is it, Allendale?
Yeah.
Okay. Aww.
Yeah.
We're best friends. I don't have any hard
Yeah, done. Hi. I had a birthday gift for myself. Like, wow.
What does that even mean?
Taking a field trip to get groceries. Because we all need groceries.